Anin, and welcome to Excel tutorial number 2, formatting, sorting, and filtering tables. This is a pretty important concept. This is a really big job that a spreadsheet application needs to be able to do. In fact, it's one of the first things that the first kinds of computer algorithms that were written were algorithms for searching, sorting, and filtering very large sets of data. We're not going to be using a very large set of data, but we're going to use a reasonably decent one. One that you wouldn't want to have to manipulate without some sort of automation in place. Here's the start file. It's a contact list. Downloads, save, open. And we're going to go through the tutorial step by step. I'll show you what all we've got here. Enable editing. Alright, first thing we want to do is format this thing. Make this thing look better than it looks, because right now it looks terrible. So I'm going to select Enable Content. Okay. Well, the first thing is the data you can't see at all. So each cell is too small to fit all the data that's supposed to be in it. So we'll just go through, and you could do this by mousing over this border between A and B here. So right here I can grab it and drag it out, and then drag it back, and then kind of get it fitting. If you want to get it exactly right, you could double click on that border. So get your mouse over it, click, click. To do all of them at once, you can select all the columns, and then double click on any one of these borders, and boom, you got the whole thing just spread out. Alright, so let's move on. Let's make this thing look pretty. So the title, it's not immediately obvious what this is. Let's make the title stand out. So what I'm going to do is I want to center the title above the table. And to do that, I would select the first cell, and then all these empty cells after it along the top of the data. And then the tool is right here, merge and center. That takes all those cells, makes them into one cell, and centers the text in the middle. Which is really nice. Up here, I'm going to go to the More part in this. You might see it in the Quick Styles menu. There might be like a button that says Styles here if your screen is smaller than mine. So I'm going to hit this down arrow, and I'm going to grab the title style. So that makes it big, it's bold, sticks out, looks nice. Now I want to create a table out of this. I want to tell Excel that this is a table. This is really important because it gives us some functionality that we don't have otherwise. Let me show you. I'm going to select cell A2 through F17. So just the data. Just that first row with the headers, and then all the way down to row 17 with the last thing, and then only columns A through F. So just the data, not this top one. We're going to go to Insert, and we're going to click on Table. Now this little dialog that pops up, it's really, really important that you select this checkbox right here that says My Table has headers. Headers are these cells up on the top here, the one that says ID number, company, name, email, blah, blah, blah. Those are your headers, and that first row is headers. So you do want this checked. Hit OK. This is an error message that pops up. It has to do with how I populated this data. It's just hit yes. It's fine. And there we go. It has now created a table. Let's call it contact list. Contact list. You don't have to put a title. You can just leave it as table 1 if you want. So this contact list, there's an empty cell here with a name. I'll just put my name in it. And then you can style it if you want. You can even pick different colors, which is cool because it gives you the banded rows, which shows you it's easier to read because your eyes naturally follow the line of banded rows. It's really handy. And what Excel does is it allows you to pick the color scheme, basically. Something like that, maybe. Whatever you want. Pick the color scheme, but at the end of the day, the thing that's really cool is the banded rows. Now, you might also have noticed that there's another new feature here, and that's these little down arrows. These are the filters. These down arrows are called filters. And there's a bunch of stuff if you click on one, but the main thing you're probably going to use most of the time are the ability to sort. So let's say I sort from A to Z. Watch what happens to the entire table. A to Z, it doesn't just sort that column, which would be bad because we want to keep each row has its own integrity. It sorts the entire table and keeps the rows together. Sorts them based on this column. That's handy. Now, let's see another way that we can sort this table. Let's go to the Data tab over here, Data, and let's go to the Sort tool. Now you'll notice that there's already one element that we're sorted by. We're sorted by the name from A to Z. What we can also do is add a further level. We want to sort by status and from A to Z. So you can actually change, you can sort by one thing and then another thing. In fact, let's sort by status first by clicking on this little up arrow, making sure that that one is selected. You can change the arrow by selecting one of these and then using these arrows to change which one comes first. So first it's going to sort by status, then it's going to sort by name inside of that. Watch what happens when we hit OK. Look at that. Really, really nice. Just all the status, and then inside of each one, the name. So A through S here, A through W, and then start over at B through V. Yeah, so you get that nice little sorted effect. Let's clear those filters now. Let's just sort by company, A to Z. Yeah, so this kind of gets shuffled up. Let's add one more feature. You can do this in you can filter through this interface, but I want to show you another kind of maybe slightly cooler way of doing it, which is up here. We want to go to the Insert tab, and we want to go over here to Filters, and we want to create a slicer. Oh wait, we have to click inside the table, have your cell selector somewhere inside the table, and then I can create a slicer. A slicer is like a little button interface that allows me to pick and choose the data that I'm filtering out. So let's filter on the status, because the status only has two values. I have two values, client and contractor. I hit OK, and there it is. There's my slicer. I can resize it. It has these two buttons in it. If I click on one, it'll filter everything based on just that value. Contractor, click that one. It's not deleting that information, it's still there. So notice how the row jumps from 2 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9, 10 to 14. So it's just skipping rows. They're all still there, we're just hiding them while we mess around. We can clear out our filters like this, and then you've got your slicer all set up and ready to go. So this is a really important tool in Microsoft Excel, the ability to search, sort, and filter, and once you have it to this point, you're done and you can turn it in. I hope this was useful to you, and have a great day.